All right. So my name is Nancy Oglesby. I am a certified holistic health coach. I am not, what I am not is a nutritionist. I'm not a registered dietitian or a physician. I am a holistic health coach. I have followed a clean, low carb diet for well over 4 years, probably going on, 5. Again, if you put your email in the chat and say, I would like to know some of the best physicians online to follow, I will give you some of those people to follow, because there are some really good doctors out there, and then there are some who aren't quite as good in my estimation. So what is a clean keto diet? So there's a couple different ways that you can do keto. You can do it using artificial sweetener and artificial flavors. You can do it eating bacon double cheeseburgers every day. But a clean keto diet is basically a variation of that. It says, let's get rid of all of the junk food and eat really nice and clean. And so what that means is that you're going to eat a diet that focuses on whole nutrient dense foods that are healthy fats, non-starchy vegetables, low sugar berries, and nice, high quality, lean protein. We take out processed and high carb foods, which is, basically it is the same as a keto diet, but we're going to take out all the junk. With a keto diet, you don't eat anything high carb, no sugar, grains, starches. So healthy fat, which kind of nuts fall into that category. Low starch vegetables, low sugar berries, and good quality protein. Some of the common misconceptions around a ketogenic diet are that you can just sit around and have a double bacon cheeseburger, hold the bun, give me some broccoli, and put a bunch of butter on it. And you can do that, but it's not going to be the healthiest choices that you can make. So while bacon is an option, it is not, you don't want to be eating a plate of bacon for breakfast. It is, another misconception is that it's a high protein diet. It is not a high protein diet, although protein is important to our systems. Too much of it, and it will turn to, it'll raise your insulin. Too little of it, and you will waste your muscle. And that's true in any diet. If you have too little protein, it is never a good thing. And especially for women over 45 or 50, typically we lose muscle mass pretty easy, and we don't start with as much as men do. So it's important for us to find the formula for protein that is good for our bodies, our size. And that is a calculation that you can find on Google. How much protein should I have? And they will tell you exactly how much to have for your body. And one of the misconceptions is that it's dangerous. It is not a dangerous or unhealthy diet. The research has shown that this diet can be safe and effective, not only for weight loss, but for other health conditions when done properly. And this is, again, a time when I'm going to say that it's important when you start any new dietary or exercise lifestyle, any kind of change your fitness lifestyle at all. It is important to get a baseline blood work done and chat with your doctor about it. I can tell you that the Dr. James O'Keefe, who some of you may recognize the name. He's the doctor that is at the head of the St. Luke's Cardiac Wellness Center. He is the founder of CardioTabs, a supplement company. And he wrote an article in the newsletter for the Cardiac Wellness Center on the benefits of a low-carb keto diet. So there are definitely benefits for certain health conditions. My doctor, her husband eats a ketogenic diet. So healthcare professionals are starting to catch on, not all of them, but the research is really leaning in the right direction. Another misconception is that it's only for weight loss, but that isn't true. It is also, as a matter of fact, it was discovered that eating a much lower carb diet than a regular keto diet, it was pretty extreme, was effective for managing epilepsy in patients for whom medication didn't work. It also helps in managing type 2 diabetes and metabolic syndrome. And since I can't see any of your faces, I don't know if you know what metabolic syndrome is. It starts with insulin resistance and adds on some cardiovascular issues like hypertension, and then it usually progresses to diabetes. So it can be specifically helpful for that. And then another misconception is that it's not sustainable. And I'm here almost 5 years later to tell you that it's pretty darn sustainable. So it just takes, it really takes learning what works for you. And that, like anything, takes a little bit of time. So the benefits, weight loss, pretty common that you will have some dramatic weight loss in the beginning of a ketogenic diet. It's not just water, although some of it is, but it continues for a while. And for a lot of people, I'm pretty sure it's all women on the call, at least it looked like it before I started sharing my screen, and now I can't see you anymore. But particularly for women, because women have such a hard time losing weight after 40, 45 years old, it just becomes so difficult for a lot of women. And the ketogenic diet, God, I don't know why I can't say that tonight. The ketogenic diet works really well for that. Probably because there's a lot of insulin resistance going on with women over 40. So it's great for weight loss. It is good for blood sugar control, which again goes back to that insulin resistance, which leads to diabetes over time. So if you can get that insulin resistance under control, then you don't progress to diabetes. It also helps people with diabetes. Oftentimes, people with type 2 diabetes can go off of their medication because their blood sugar becomes so stable. And that brings me to a caveat. If you have type 2 diabetes and you take insulin, it is critical that you go to your doctor, you talk to your doctor about starting a keto diet, because there's a possibility that your need for insulin can drop drastically. And you and your doctor need to work together so that you can manage that safely. So there's that. Improved cardiovascular health. So many people say, oh, this is the worst thing you can do for your cardiovascular system. Your cholesterol is going to go through the roof. You're going to drop dead. I mean, it's the worst thing you can do. It's not. It improves many markers of cardiovascular health, including cholesterol and lipid levels, blood pressure, and inflammation. And one of the things that is a hallmark of the keto diet is that your triglycerides drop so much that it is fabulous, because low triglycerides and your HDL goes up. Low triglycerides and high HDL is a fabulous ratio for cardiovascular health. Inflammation reduces inflammation throughout the body. It's what's called systemic inflammation, and it is responsible for so many of the chronic diseases that we have. And eating a keto diet reduces inflammation. So that has benefits for all kinds of things like arthritis and autoimmune, and again, metabolic syndrome, because it brings down your blood pressure and stabilizes your blood sugar. Improved brain function. I talked a little bit about the epilepsy. There's been a lot of research and a book written by a woman whose husband had Alzheimer's, and she is a researcher, about the impact of ketones on the brain. And not only is research showing that it can help with, epilepsy, because that's where we even first found out about it, but also Alzheimer's and dementia. But it's also showing that there might be benefits in other conditions like migraines and traumatic brain injury. And I know I talk pretty fast. That's probably because I have increased energy because of the ketogenic diet. I can't tell you how much better I feel when I am eating a nice, healthy, clean keto diet. There's such a difference, because now I'm 5 years in. So there are days when I will have carbohydrates that I would not have had in the first year and a half or 2 years. And when I do, I'm always disappointed later in the day or the next day, because my energy is not nearly as high as it normally is. Some research is also showing that there is a potential benefit as an anti-cancer plan. So I don't want to say that it is, because the research doesn't stand up to it yet, but it is showing some positive movement in that direction. So this is really what you want to know, right? What can I eat on a clean keto diet? So you can eat all the spinach and kale you want. Okay, that probably wasn't what you wanted to hear, right? But you can eat lots of leafy greens, spinach, kale, lettuce, cruciferous vegetables, broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, cabbage. Cabbage is one of my absolute favorite foods since I've been on the keto diet. Zucchini, asparagus, cucumbers, bell peppers, tomatoes in a somewhat restricted capacity, but certainly enough that you can have some wonderful homegrown tomatoes during the summer. And one of my favorite ways to do that, I do grow tomatoes in the summer. And one of my favorite things to do is to make a nice thick slice of tomato. And there's a brand of mayonnaise. We're going to get into healthy fats in a minute, but there's a brand of mayonnaise called Primal Kitchen, and it is 100% olive oil mayonnaise. Unlike Hellmann's and Kraft that say avocado oil mayonnaise, which is mostly canola oil, Primal Kitchen, it's expensive, it's worth every penny, it's very rich, is 100% avocado oil. And so I put a little bit of that on top of the tomato and salt and pepper. It's so good. And if you really love BLTs, you can put it on some lettuce, and then you can sprinkle some crunchy bacon on top of it and have yourself a breadless BLT. It's one of my favorite things to do when tomatoes come into season. Cabbage. so this is where you want to write down a recipe, a little bit of this, a little bit of that recipe. I buy the prepackaged salads at Aldi. They're available everywhere. The same salad is available everywhere. I like the sunflower crunch because it has sunflower seeds in it. And I love the fact that they have cabbage as their main green, and the way they cut those salads just makes me happy. They're all cut very small. You don't have to like fight with a fork and a huge piece of lettuce. And what I do with those salads, any of them, whether you buy the Asian one or whether you buy the Southwest, I throw out the dressing and any high carb ingredients. Like Southwest, I think, has corn in it. And maybe it's got the tortilla things in it. But the sunflower one just has sunflower seeds, uncured bacon, and salad dressing. And then the salad mix. I throw the salad dressing out because it's made with, well, first of all, it's got sugar in it, but it's also, all of them are made with canola oil. And then here's what I put on my salads. And I do this almost every day. I put lemon juice, avocado oil, organic heavy cream. I put a little bit of sweetener on it and salt. I sprinkle in the sunflower seeds and mix that all up. And it's absolutely delicious. Doesn't sound delicious when I say it, but it's absolutely delicious when I eat it. And I will tell you about the sweetener I use, because the clean keto diet, there's no artificial sweeteners, no artificial flavors, no preservatives. So your best bet is to go with organic foods as much as you can. And there's a couple lists. There's one called the Dirty Dozen, which is the foods that are highest in contaminants. So I kind of try and use that list as my guide to where to put my organic money. But that salad with some like a grilled chicken breast is my favorite thing. You can use a rotisserie chicken, anything that makes it easy to get your protein in at lunchtime or dinner. Clean proteins, nice, clean proteins. Grass-fed organic beef. It is available almost everywhere. Actually, the least available place is Hy-Vee, and the most expensive is Hy-Vee, but they have organic, 100% grass-fed beef at Walmart Neighborhood Market, Aldi, Natural Grocers. That's all I can think of. Those are the three places where, and Trader Joe's. I knew there was somewhere else. Pastured eggs, so free-range eggs, wild-caught fish. That's another thing that they do really well at Aldi. Last time I was there, they had sockeye salmon. A little bit later in the season, it will probably switch over to coho. And it's fresh. It's not frozen. It is delicious. And then all of the same places that I just named all have organic chicken, which is one of my go-tos. I get organic chicken breasts at Aldi. I get organic chicken wings frozen at Trader Joe's. And then Trader Joe's also has a grill pack, which has 2 huge chicken breasts that are bone in, which are lovely. But Trader Joe's also has organic, and so does Walmart Neighborhood Market. They both have organic chicken legs, which if you like dark meat, it's like super easy they're inexpensive. It's super easy to make chicken soup, throw them in the air fryer, however you want to cook them. They're a less expensive way to go. So someone talked about recipes, and I rarely do much beyond putting things in my air fryer or using an outdoor grill. I don't have one, but if I did, that's what I would use in the summer, maybe instead of the air fryer. Everything that I cook, I season super simply, but there are a couple things I do in my Instant Pot, and those are, I will take grass-fed ground beef and I use riced cauliflower as kind of a filler. You know how when you make meatballs or meatloaf, sometimes you use bread or rice. I will use some riced cauliflower, and then I'll season it with Italian seasoning and salt and garlic powder and onion powder, and make meatballs. And I will saute those in my Instant Pot, throw in a can of tomato sauce, plain tomato sauce, add some of the same seasonings to the tomato sauce, sprinkle in a little Parmesan cheese, and put that in the Instant Pot for 30 minutes, and it's delicious. I eat spaghetti stuff like soup, just so you know. That's how I handle. That's how I handle sauces. I make them more soupy. Another one that I like to do is chicken breasts with a jar of, I like Trader Joe's salsa verde. You can use whatever kind of salsa you like. In the Instant Pot, 30 minutes. The chicken breasts are fork tender. You can either make pulled chicken breast or just eat it with the salsa on top of it. Delicious, absolutely delicious. Those are my air fryer and my Instant Pot are the two things that I use nonstop. Another thing that I didn't talk about on the veggie slide is berries. I add in blueberries or strawberries. Raspberries are another good, raspberries and blackberries are another good option. I like to have blueberries with a little bit of organic cream and some sweetener. That is my favorite dessert, without a doubt. It's simple to do. I buy organic blueberries and organic strawberries at Walmart Neighborhood Market, and I just take out a few and put them in a little dish, thaw them out in the microwave, and then add a little bit of heavy cream. There's just something really satisfying about that. Healthy fats, avocado oil, coconut oil, grass-fed butter, nuts and seeds. You can use olive oil as well. I don't know how that didn't get on this slide, but olive oil is really good. I listened to a podcast, probably about 2 years ago now. And the person on the podcast said the way that you tell a good olive oil is by, I know this sounds really horrible, but it wasn't as horrible as it sounds, by taking a teaspoon of it and eating it just like that, just eating the teaspoon. And the back of your throat, you should have a peppery, spicy feeling, taste. And I'm here to tell you that Aldi's avocado oil is a high quality olive oil. I also like their organic avocado oil and their extra virgin coconut oil. I buy grass-fed butter. Kerrygold is probably the most well-known name, but I do something a little different. I mix the grass-fed butter with avocado oil as a way of getting more healthy oil into my food. So I will take 8 ounces of grass-fed butter, soften it, and then blend it with 4 ounces of avocado oil. And I still get that buttery flavor, but I get the health benefits of the avocado oil. I can't eat nuts. That is a really handy snack if you don't eat a whole bag of almonds or walnuts. Nuts are a great option. I do eat sunflower seeds and pumpkin seeds. You can eat hemp, chia, whatever you enjoy on a salad or as a snack. So leafy greens and non-starchy vegetables, low sugar fruits, which aren't on here. I apologize for that. Quality protein and healthy fats. What you will notice isn't on here is all of this stuff. Clearly, on any keto diet, you are going to avoid all of these carbohydrates, the chips and the onion rings and the potatoes and the bun. But you're also going to avoid what passes for keto. I'm saying that in italics, keto treats, because there are a ton of them out there. There are so many that are not good for you. So a lot of people drink diet soda. So this is the difference between clean and dirty keto. A lot of people will have diet soda, artificial colors, artificial flavors, and anything else that goes into processed food. People who are choosing to eat a clean ketogenic diet are not doing those things. So processed foods and refined sugars, I'm saying processed food and any refined sugar, artificial, all of that out. Grains and starchy vegetables. Starchy vegetables are all over the place. Potatoes, clearly, but even Brussels sprouts can be pretty high in carbs. So I recommend that you download the app, Carb Manager, and use that as a guide for your carbs. There, you can put into that your weight, what you want to achieve, and or whether you are happy at the weight that you're at, it doesn't matter. And it will tell you what you should eat in terms of carbs, net carbs, protein, and fat. And then just try and stick to those in each day. Carb Manager is a great tool to use. This says no alcohol. I'm here to tell you that you can have alcohol occasionally on a keto diet, even on a clean keto diet. Just make sure it's the right kind. So spirits like gin, vodka, and whiskey and tequila are all good choices. They're all low in sugar. And there are low carb beers. I particularly like Corona Premier. It's got 2.5 carbs, I think. Mick Ultra, other than the fact that it tastes like watered down nothing, has the least carbs. I think it's just under 2. And I think Miller Lite is right around 3.5. But really, if you drink Mick Ultra, try Corona Premier. You'll love me forever. But yeah, I mean, it's nice if you go out on a weekend or you go out with your partner and you can have a cocktail. There's nothing wrong with that. So meal prep and preparation. When I cook something in my Instant Pot, like the chicken verde, that's what I call my chicken with salsa. I will cook more than necessary, and I will slice it up. But I don't have these fancy little containers. I have containers that are just one. They don't have dividers in them. And so I'll put the chicken and salsa on one side, and then I'll take a bag of frozen broccoli and just pour some of it on the other side, put a pat of butter on top of that, maybe a little salt, and I will cover it and put it in freezer. One of the things about being successful, and this is whether you're doing a keto diet or any diet, is to have things at home that you like, so that when you are in a hurry and you are hungry and you're out of the house, you know that there's something good to come home to. That's the biggest thing you can do, is have something good at home to come home to. And because if you don't, it's not going to happen. So making more than you need for one or two meals and putting it in the freezer, and you don't have to. Roasting vegetables is great, super easy to do in an air fryer, super easy to do anywhere. If you like them better roasted, by all means do that. Have them in with the chicken or steak or meatballs or whatever you have, and just make sure that in your freezer there is something that you enjoy eating. Excuse me. For vegetables, it's a really good idea to prepare them and have them in mason jars. If you invest in anything to do this, invest in a case of wide mouth mason jars. They will change your life. Vegetables will stay fresh for well over a week in a mason jar. And if you want the information, there is a woman on TikTok and Instagram, I think she has a website. I've been there. I've been to her website. I've looked at her on TikTok. She has a ratio of vinegar to water that you rinse your vegetables in, and they will last sometimes 2 and 3 weeks. I don't remember what that ratio is, but if you want that, put it in the chat and I will find it for you and send it to you, because that can make all the difference. I am a firm believer in finding what works for you in so many ways. So this would not have worked for me if I had not been willing to change things up, discover alternatives, and find my own personal vulnerabilities. One of those is when I'm out and I'm hungry and I want something tasty. One of those is that knowing I have something in the freezer or something good at home. Another one is there are some chocolates that are made by it's a company called Lily's, Lilys. They make sugar-free chocolate chips. They make sugar-free chocolate a lot of things, but I find that I am triggered by almost everything that they make, except for the semi-sweet baking chips. Those, I can put the bag in the freezer and take out 20 chocolate chips and munch on them, and I am perfectly satisfied. So that is something that I found was a vulnerability of mine in staying on this diet forever. And so it is about discovering your vulnerabilities. So you might find that if you have tomatoes that you are triggered to eat something else. You may find that if you try to eat nuts, you eat too many, or that blueberries and strawberries or raspberries, that you're not able to stop at the third of a cup that is the right amount of carbs for your day. So what you want to do is find those vulnerabilities and find alternatives for them, because that's what's going to make you successful. I know there's a group on Facebook called Keto for Women Over 50. And trust me, it's like any other Facebook group. People can be vile, and people can jump on you for no reason. And they do keto, dirty, clean. It doesn't matter. It's all over the place. But you will find solutions in a place like that. I will also, again, in the chat, sorry, I don't have this put together in a way for you to really get it to you, other than if you email me. Other than if you put it in the chat and I email you. I can send you some websites and physicians that I regard as taking the right approach. And just by having that information, you will be able to find solutions to what is causing you angst. Because what I would like for you to be able to do is be successful at this. Couple things in the beginning. Do not beat yourself up if you are not 100%. If you want to start out eating 50% clean keto and 50% not, start there. Get used to what you're cooking, what you like. Move it up to 70-30. And then I would say that my 5-year plan here has been in a 90-10 kind of ratio. 90% of the time I am eating super clean, and maybe 10% of the time I am having something that's junky. So I will totally admit to you what my junk food is. Whoever asked about gluten-free, close your ears, because this is not gluten-free. Aldi has a keto white bread that is soft like the old Wonder Bread used to be. It is 0 net carbs. It is 10 grams of carbs and 10 grams of fiber. So when you're looking at net carbs, you're taking the total carbs and you are subtracting the fiber and the sugar alcohol. So it is 0 net carbs. It has 1 gram of fat and 4 grams of protein per slice. It's 35 calories. That bread makes my life super easy. And so that's one of the very few processed foods that I allow in my house. So those are my two: Lily's semi-sweet baking chips and that bread. Now, here are some drink options. First of all, when you first start, you've maybe heard of the keto flu. People can feel kind of nauseous and headachy when they first start. And that's simply your electrolytes shifting. You pee more because your body's getting rid of water. And so your sodium and all kinds of things shift in the beginning. And so it's important for you to drink some electrolytes. And you can do that easily. If you Google electrolyte water homemade, trust me, you'll find thousands of recipes. So you can do it very cheaply, or you can do it my way very easily. So very easily for me is I found a powder called BioSteel. Kind of a cute story behind how I found it, because I'm kind of a food snob. And ask any of my friends. And I was at Hy-Vee one day, which I'm rarely at Hy-Vee. I think this was pre-COVID. And I saw a big poster of Patrick Mahomes in front of this gigantic display of rainbow colored containers, those kind of waxy containers that some drinks come in. Just this huge display, all rainbow colors. And I kind of sauntered over there, kind of the cocky health coach with an attitude, to look at what kind of garbage was in this beverage, only to find that it had good things in it. And I couldn't find anything wrong with it. And so I bought several because I am, as much as I am a food snob, I also believe in supporting the companies that are doing things right. So I bought several of these containers. They weren't cheap. I think they were 4 for $5 or 5 for $4 or something like that. And oh my gosh, they're so sweet. But if you water them down, they're not so sweet. And they make powder. And I now buy their grape flavor is my favorite. Did not win the March Madness bracket thing that BioSteel had to find out what the winning flavor was. But grape is my favorite. They also have a lemon lime. They have, the rainbow container one, mixed berry, white frost. They have peach. Peach is really good. And I just water them down. I use probably half the powder in mine. And I don't need to drink it for the electrolytes anymore, but I love it. It is my go-to. Another one, there's a couple out there that are sweetened with, one with stevia. It's called Zevia. And the other one is sweetened with erythritol, and it's called Virgil's. Those are both sodas. They're both, I shouldn't say Virgil's because I don't know if they're probably good because they're at natural grocers. I was going to say I haven't looked at their ingredients in a long time, but Zevia and Virgil's are both good. Virgil's is sweetened with erythritol. They're both very expensive, so you're really not going to want to use them 100% of the time. Again, the Zevia is really sweet. And then just recently, I found at Aldi an all-natural water drops. There's 4 flavors. They sit right next to their not all-natural water drops, and they're quite good. I have a soda stream, so I can make plain soda water, and I really enjoy the lemon. There's one flavor called lemonade, and I enjoy that with the soda water. So I can get my fizz on with a little bit of sweetener and flavor in it. And they're sweetened with stevia. So sweeteners, gosh, I almost didn't tell you about sweeteners. That's my favorite topic. Stevia is an herb. It can grow in your garden. It will take over your garden. And it is super, super sweet. You can add a stevia leaf to your tea and it will sweeten your tea. Erythritol is a sugar alcohol that occurs naturally in some fruits, and monk fruit extract is just some weird fruit. Monk fruit is a plant. It is sweeter than sugar and has 0 calories. Erythritol, sugar alcohols can be tricky for some people's gastrointestinal system. Some people will get horrible gas. I have found, because I can't do any of the sugar alcohols except erythritol without truly feeling like someone is blowing up a basketball. So erythritol doesn't do that to me, and I don't know what the difference is, but I do know from listening to a lot of physicians that that's the one sweetener, the one sugar alcohol that they say is okay on a clean keto diet. So I buy stevia in liquid form. You can get it at Hy-Vee, or you can get it at Trader Joe's, or you can get it at natural grocers, probably Sprouts. And there's different brands, but you don't want one that has glycerin in it. You want one that's more expensive than that. That's how you're going to tell the difference. The liquid stevia that's the most expensive is the one that you want. And it's not really most expensive. It's just that the bottle is more expensive than the other one, because the other one you're going to have to use a lot of. And the one that's more expensive, you're not going to have to use as much of. The one that's more expensive, you're just going to use a few drops. The one that's cheaper has glycerin in it, and it works as a carrier, but you just have to squirt a whole squirt, and it's pretty expensive to use in the long run. I like the liquid stevia from Trader Joe's. It's the most reasonably priced, and it's just it's convenient for me to get to, but it's not as convenient as natural grocers, but I like their brand. I use liquid monk fruit extract. Again, I use it. I get it on Amazon. The brand is Now, and it's not cheap. It's not outrageous, but it's not cheap. And again, lasts forever. I like to think of it as fishes and loaves. You will look at the bottle 7 times thinking it's got to be empty, and it's never empty. So what I like about those two sweeteners is that when you use them together, a few drops of liquid stevia, a few drops of monk fruit, the monk fruit cancels out that kind of funky stevia aftertaste. So that's why I like it. I use erythritol sparingly. I use it. I buy the packets. Often they say that they're stevia or monk fruit, but they're mostly erythritol. And I buy those packets to have with me when I'm out. And then then you can buy granulated, again, they call it monk fruit or stevia, but it's mostly erythritol. You can buy it in bags. My favorite brands for that are Lakanto. It's available Hy-Vee, natural grocers. Also, the little packets, the stevia little packets by Great Value, Walmart's brand, those are fine too. I typically get Whole Earth at Walmart in packets. I like that one. I just like that one the best. So sweeteners. I want to make sure I have everything. I know nobody likes the idea of exercise. Most people really want a magic bullet, and exercise just has a lot of benefits, even when you're doing a clean keto diet. It promotes fat burning. So if your goal is to lose weight, exercising alongside of doing keto will help you burn more fat. It preserves muscle mass. And that's the thing that for me is the most critical. My whole goal is health. I'm 73 years old, and I want to be healthy and capable for many years to come. And so preserving muscle mass to me is really important. I played racquetball with a friend, and doesn't that sound like really cool that I played racquetball at 73? Except we didn't really play racquetball. We don't even really remember the rules. We just went into the racquetball court and banged that ball around for an hour, laughed, got sweaty, burned calories, built muscle, and had so much fun that we're doing it every week. So exercise Doesn't matter what exercise you choose, as long as you're having fun and you'll do it. There's a neighborhood kid. She comes over and we play ball. We throw a ball around in my backyard. Anything I can do that's fun. Also, this is the time of year when it pays to get out and mow your own lawn. It pays to do a little bit of gardening, a little bit of digging. If that works for you, find an exercise that really works for you. If you are trying to impact your insulin sensitivity, exercise is a great way to do that. It totally helps with people with diabetes and insulin resistance. Plus, when you improve your insulin sensitivity, your body is much better able to utilize the ketones that you're producing. It boosts your energy levels. So not only are you going to get this boost of energy from eating better and eating clean and getting the carbs out, you're going to get energy when you move a little bit more. And it definitely aids in weight loss. You have to find something that you like to do. You have to talk with your doctor or any healthcare provider about what's going to work for you exercise-wise. It may be yoga, whatever it is. I'm talking about running around a racquetball court, but I also do yoga. So think about that. So we're going to talk about a few contraindications, because there are times when starting a keto diet or eating a keto diet is not the best choice, and those tend to be around pancreatic, liver, and gallbladder disease. Those are the most common. People with an eating disorder should definitely not diet or change their diet unless they do so with a medical professional. And pregnancy, of course, is another time when you should, of course, I believe that you should check with your physician or one of your healthcare providers, regardless of whether you're pregnant or have a metabolic disorder. Or I just think it's smart to check in with them and talk about how this can impact your personal health, because they would know better than anyone. So this is my information. I do not care if you text me and ask me a question. You're not going to get a bill for $100. You're not going to get a bill at all. I'm just going to answer your question. Same with email. Feel free to email me and say, hey, I saw this. What do you think? And I will answer you. I don't do much coaching anymore because I do more writing and teaching. So I am happy to answer any questions you have.
Thank you,
Thanks,
everybody.
everybody.
Have a great evening.
And like I said, feel free, text, email. I got your back.